or of getting ready for a sporting event, or traveling, or any of those new things, right? Or even something like as serious as like an attacker, you know what I mean? Or something in nature, right? That body feel, that is a level of fear that's real, because that's a chemical response, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's not concocted in our brain. It's a literal chemical response. And so I think like fear it's an illusion in your brain, but the body feel of it is real, right? And it's situational.
Welcome back to the MeanBean podcast. I'm here with my homie Graylin, great man. As we were just talking about fear, a lot of things that kind of like hold people back. You've been coaching now for how many years?
Oh man, about 10, close to 10.
Would you say you found, like, since you've been coaching, right, what has been the biggest lesson you learned? And what is something that you look at completely different now? Because you've been in the game for 10 years, like.
So I guess like I've been a coach for money for like 10 years, but I've been, I guess, helping kids ever since I've been a competitor as well, right? And I guess like one of the biggest lessons for me as a competitor was managing my emotions, allowing myself to be focused on being present and not like on how I felt at that moment, right? Of, okay, this is tough, right? We wrestle tough. You wrestle hard. You have hard practice every single day. And so, like, for me as a competitor, it was like just, first it was that initial fear that's going to be hard, right? And then it was that initial fear of, like, keep pushing when it is hard, and then going through that. And so teaching athletes that and working with that is important. And then different aspects of accountability, right? Like wrestlers who have missed weight. I've never missed weight before, right? And
Ever
in my life. I've gotten close, but I've never missed weight ever in my life. So, I mean, like...
That's determination. That's commitment, man.
Yeah. Like I had it down to a system, right? So like I didn't really have to cut weight hard until I was in college, but like I had to do it a couple times in high school.
What do you wrestle at? For those who might be curious,
I wrestled at 125 and I wrestled 133, 25 for 3 years and 33 for 1 year, and then in high school 103, 112, 119, 125, and then middle school like 95. 100 once, but I was always a lightweight, and I'm still pretty light now. I'm probably like no more than like 145, like
the dynamite.
Yeah. I mean, I got them things on me, you know what I mean? But yeah, shoot.
Just calm down. Just relax.
And like that's also like one of the dopest things about being a wrestler too, is like people can just tell by your stature more often than not, like, okay, he's got them things on him, you know, or he's a wrestler. And so like that's just a comforting thing to know, like at the very least people around me feel safe and I feel safe, and people also are not going to go push that envelope with someone who has a little cauliflower or does have, you know, muscles too. And like typically, like, the stereotype of wrestlers that we're short, you know, but we're thick, you know what I mean, and that we're explosive.
Stocky.
Yep, yeah.
Stocky to the motherfucker, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
And then, so, yeah, that accountability piece from other things I've been, you know, learning throughout the sport, from a wrestler to a coach, you know, finding things that work for you, because it's not always going to work for everybody else. So, like, I want to say, pretty an independent dude, like, as far as wrestling goes. Like, I would go utilize my resources, but, like, I would go run on my own. I go lift on my own sometimes. I would go get my weight off on my own. Like, I would, you know, go take care of business.
You were self-motivated. You didn't really need someone to be like, yo, Graylin, wake up. Today we have to run 3 miles. Yo, Graylin, wake up. Today we have to cut back and do a cardio for 2 hours. Like, no one had to kind of push you, per se. When
I got older, yeah, at the beginning, yeah, it was like, get up, we gotta go. You know what I mean? And there were still moments after college, like, over the summers in college, specifically going to my sophomore year, I went back to Alaska over the summer. And
past summer?
No, in college. Oh. Yep. And we would like go chop wood. So like we had a grind, right? Like, so we would get up in the morning, me and Nick, we'd get up, and he played football in college, right? He's my best friend. And him and I, like, we would lift in the morning like at 5:30.
A.M.?
Yep. Get up, lift, go to work, get done with work. He would have drills, and I would either find someone to wrestle with. I get a group of local high schoolers and just wrestle with them, or whoever was like getting ready to go to college and work with them, or I would go run umpteenth miles. And sometimes I would do plyometric drills with him too, and work on my explosion. But there were times too, like when we get home, right, we would have to go chop wood, right, because like
It's Alaska.
Yep.
The great outdoors.
It's real, bro. And so,
what the fuck was that like, bro?
man, that was an experience, right? So I was like a kid. I moved there in middle school, and
For those of you wondering, Greenland was a military brat, so he's had quite the experience in terms of like moving across the country and so on and so forth. What were you saying, boss?
so Alaska, like I liked it as a kid. I don't have any intention of moving back right now by any means. But maybe one day if I have a family, when I have a family, you know, eventually maybe one day I'll make it back out to Alaska. I do have family out there too in Ketchikan and Fairbanks, Anchorage area. A lot of still good, close family friends out there too. But like I liked Alaska. We lived in Fairbanks, like right in the middle, right? And it's pretty close to North Pole, Alaska. So you got your legit Santa Claus house out there. You got
Me and the Eskimos.
and so like Eskimos, I guess it's actually like a racial slur in Alaska, right? And so like
Are you serious?
yeah, yep. And so the politically correct term would be like, you know, Inuit or Athabascan, you know, native at the most basic level, but like
Holy shit, you
Inuit
learn
and
something every day.
Athabascan. Yeah, yep.
That's
and so
a racial
like
slur. Fuck, I did not know. Like, what's the who is it or like what's the I don't know who's the group that it's being.
anyone, like, it's basically like and you call a Native American, you know what I mean, like an Indian, you know what I mean, like because it does.